back to realvacantland.com. This is Luke Smith. I've got another property for you. So this one is in Mariposa County, California. It's near Yosemite. So Yosemite National Park is just up the hill a little bit from here. This picture is of the property. It was taken earlier this spring before the leaves started popping on the trees. So it's probably a lot greener now. And looks like you can drive right up to it in a couple different ways. I'll show you here as we dive in. So let's go to the website, ruralvacantland.com. I got the map search pulled up because I've just been rolling through different properties, making sure everything's up to date on there. And seeing these ones, like, man, I got to show you guys this property. So I've made numerous different videos today. Probably see them roll out over the next couple days. So this is California. We're going to zoom in on California. There's California, a bunch of different properties in California. Let's go over the map, right? So a bunch of them in the south, but not so many in the north. Been getting more of them in the north here recently, and some of them have been selling, some of them haven't. And this is Mariposa County. A couple of these Mariposas have sold here. As soon as I put them up for sale, they're basically gone. And then this one just sits there. So I just lowered the price on it. Nobody's taken off with this one, so I just knocked the price down. It was in title for a while. A guy was going for it. He was paying and then just disappeared on me. So putting it back up for sale and knocking the price down. So here is Yosemite National Park. Yosemite, here's Yosemite Valley, Half Dome. I've driven in from this way. I've driven in from this way. I don't think I've ever driven the 120 here. No, this is the 120. Yeah, I've done the not 100% sure. I think I have gone this way. So one time I went this way, but it's, going back and forth. This side of it's beautiful, Yosemite West. But this is Yosemite Valley. This is where you go camping and looking up at the rocks and everything. And it's just, guys, if you've never been to Yosemite, forget about all this land and everything else. Just Yosemite is a national park that is definitely worth visiting. It should be on your list, bucket list for stuff to do before you die, right? Just, it's one of those parks like Yellowstone and Everglades and Glacier National. It's just a bunch of parks in the U.S. that are spectacular. Parks around the world have some spectacular ones too. But this one, if you're in California, if you're anywhere near Yosemite, just take a drive in there and look at it. The scenery it's just so amazing. I don't know how to explain it, but that's what makes a national park, right? So there's a valley going through, and they close the roads. Like the roads through the backside closed half the year, or more than half the year, because of the snows. But down the mountains is this property. So not too far away from Yosemite. I should have mapped out how far it is to Yosemite, but you just go up here a little bit to the 120 and go. Here's Yosemite Pines RV Resort and stuff is near here. People stay close to here to go look at Yosemite. Here's the entrance, Yosemite National Park Big Oak Flat entrance. Just up the road, not very far away. So down the road a little bit is this property. So if we switch it back over to satellite, you can see the hills and the green, the trees and stuff. We go back to map, you can see the roads coming through here. So we've got Jordan Creek to the north of the property, and we've got Smith Station Road to the south of the property. Jordan Creek's a little bit smaller, Smith Station's a little bit bigger. There's a forest road that comes off Smith Station you can access this property with. There's a forest road that comes off of Jordan Creek that you can access this property with. And we should zoom in and get some property lines because we're getting close enough now. I start showing you property lines in this thing. This is the general area. Okay, so it's almost 10 acres. It's just shy of 10 acres. When we click on that ad, it'll pull it up and we can get to the map with the actual property lines. So we've got pictures and stuff. I'll look at those here in a sec, but I wanted to explain the property lines while we're talking about access. So if you remember that last map we were just looking at, it's Jordan Creek is to the north. Jordan Creek's the name of the road. And then Smith, whatever it was called, Smith, I forget, is the one on the south. Let's hit the map. Smith Station Road, just to the south. So Smith Station Road, if you look here, there's a little forest road that comes up, and you can access the southern part of the property from there. These people over here, I'm not sure if they actually use that route or not. I don't think they do. I think they come in from Jordan Creek. So on the southern boundary of the property, it's I forget if it's a 10-foot or a 15-foot easement, but it's a small easement that runs along the boundaries of this property, like down here. So you could take these, you could build a driveway out this way to Smith Station and be within the easements. This land that is south of the property down here is Santa Luz National Forest. I called the park ranger. I said, hey, I got this land over here, and there's some National Forest land between the road and my land. Can I go across that land to get into my land? And he said, oh, yeah, sure, no problem. And I said, are you sure? What am I supposed to, what are the rules, regulations, and stuff? He said, well, if there's some fire roads there, use those first. But he didn't seem to be worried about it at all. So, I mean, he's not a lawyer. He's not giving me a legal opinion and stuff, but just basic chatter by calling the National Forest guys in the area who manage this property to say, go for it. And so they've got burning permits here. I asked them about burning. I called the Cal Fire guys about burning here too. Like, what if I want to clear a bunch of brush? They said, don't do it this time of year in the summer, do it in the winter. You can cut it in the summer. Just got to be careful about your machinery and chippers and stuff starting a fire. Don't let that happen. It's a high fire danger area. But feel free to cut it, stack it, pile it, whatever. And then in the winter time, you can get a burning permit and you can burn it. So if you want to clear brush, clear trees, something like that, you can burn it in the winter. So that's the southern side of this boundary. The northern side of this boundary has Santa Luz National Forest as well. And if you look at this, there's some burn piles here. It looks like the National Forest guys made some bonfires and got rid of some brush. And if you look at the property boundary down here, there's kind of a natural break where it goes from thicker brush to less brush. And so I think the National Forest guys have gone through and thinned this out. And you can see where they've been dragging trees and scraps and stuff to the brush piles and fired it up. So this to me looks like you could drive on this land because the National Forest guys are saying, if it's logging trails, even 2-track, stuff like that, go for it. But cutting a new path, I mean, you're supposed to ask about cutting new trails through the National Forest. But besides that, we've got easements that go along this anyway. So you don't even have to deal with the National Forest if you don't want to, but it sounds easy and it's closer and they got little trails going through here anyway, so you can just roll up there. But if you don't want to deal with them, you got easements that run along the northern boundary of this property. And there's the really old ones that are like 10 or 12 feet or something. And then there's newer easements on there that are, I forget if they're 25 or 30 feet. I think there might be 30 feet. But they run this boundary, and we'll run this thing through title, and title can point out the easements and stuff. But see, this guy is coming through the National Forest and then hooking up to the property line and running the property line. So you could come through here, I'm guessing, through the National Forest stuff because it's already a trail. You're not blazing a new trail. It was the way they explained it to me. So you could come through their trail in the National Forest and then extend off those easements to this property. That would get you into the property on the legal easement routes to the property. So there's the deal there. And this road goes round and round. It goes in lots of different ways, but it gets you to the property. So there's 10 acres. Let's go into the website. The website, I've got it set up so you can play with this map. If you go to the description below this video, you can get to this website. There's an old video I made about it at a higher price. Here's pictures. I had the picture guy go out here. He took his drone out and he took pictures. And I think this is the neighbor's driveway, I believe, going in here. This is National Forest land. So I don't think he really exactly knew where the property boundaries of this were, but he was on Jordan Creek Road taking pictures. So we've got some pictures around the area, but not like actually in the land. The actual land is back there, and this was winter time when he was taking these pictures. So that's why it's all like nothing on the trees. But back here where there's more bush, that's where the property actually is. This is National Forest between here and there. So you've got National Forest to the north and National Forest to the south. So this is the northern border of the property looking south. And from here you can see there's different houses up in the hills, and so it seems like the guys like to build on the hills with views out over the valleys in the area. And here we've got this almost looks like fall, but I think it was winter time when you got these pictures, but the colors happening in the bush, right? It might have been more fall than winter. So the neighbor's house is over here, and the driveway would come up through here going along the property boundary. And then there's a nice hill here to build on. There's a hill here to build on. This is probably the highest point of the property. The property goes back like this, like in here, if you guys can see my cursor. And so you've got a neighbor house here with a power line that comes up right along the property line with a transformer on it. So if you put the house over here on this hill, you'd be the highest hill around, getting the most view, and you'd have the power line right next to it to hook into the power, so you wouldn't have to pay as much to string the power over here as over there. And yeah, so there's the property. There's the other road back there, Smith Station Road, if I remember right. So you could access it from that side too. There's some shots of the land. So this would be looking north, and to the south underneath us down, we've got the property. I'm gonna be right over my shoulder here. Got the property. You can start to see the bush right there, and as the bush gets thicker, that's where the property starts. Here's a shot looking down and south a bit. Here's the old fire, where the National Forest guys are burning brush, and then this land starts where the brush gets thicker, and the National Forest guys haven't cleaned out the brush there. There's another shot of it. So here's the hill. I think this hill over here would be more of where I would choose to build, but it's up to you. It's your land, right? So here's another shot of it. This would be the land. This is kind of a property boundary where the brush is thick. Goes back. It goes into a little bit of a ravine, and then it comes back up again. So the hill on the backside, I think, would be the most advantageous. You could build here too. I mean, maybe you can put 2 houses on it and split the thing up. There's always different ways to do it, right? There's another shot looking south, looking at the hills, the area. So all these pictures, you can go on ruralvacantland.com, get the pictures. Here is, north is north, south is south kind of map of the lot line. So here's a picture that'll show you what I was talking about, the easements. The easements run east to west along the north boundary of the property and along the south boundary of the property, for my interpretation of the easements. And so I believe that north one you could line up to the neighbor's driveway who's running along the boundary. See how he came in and you got to somebody next to him's easement and went through before he got to his property. So you could extend the easement across his property, in my understanding of this, to this property, or do it in the south and extend the easements out to the road there as well. It shows topography, info. We've got interactive map. There's a buy it now button. I think it just asks for $500. Yeah, it asks for $500 down payment, and then we can pay the rest off from there. Take through title shop or something. GPS coordinates. If you want to go take a tour of the property, please go take a tour of the property. There's GPS coordinates on here. You click on that when you got this open in your phone. Your phone should give you driving directions to the property. Got GPS coordinates of the corners. Got a legal description of the property. Some different information about the property. Tax amount's $180 a year taxes on this property. And no dock fees, just easy. There's a local gas station. And I should have done how far it is to Yosemite from here. So if we just click on this, I'll pull it up. We'll click on the GPS coordinates. If you do it in the computer, it brings it up looking like this. And let's do Yosemite, what is it? Oaks Flat? See if I get the Oaks entrance. See if it doesn't boomerang around to the other side of the park. No, that went the right way. Okay, so Yosemite National Park, Big Oak Flat entrance. I couldn't remember the name of it. So it's 20 miles from the property to the entrance to Yosemite National Park. And so you could probably set up, I don't know what the regulations are, but you could probably set up a house here and rent it out to people that are going to tour the park, Airbnb, VBRO and stuff. I don't know if the local regulations are hip with that or not, but my guess is you could get away with that pretty easily and use the property part-time, rent it out part-time. Renting it out part-time might pay for it full-time, so you could use it for free if you do it right. So 20 20 miles to the entrance to Yosemite. It says it takes 32 minutes because it's a smaller road and smaller windy road. Looks like there's some stuff to look at along the way. Rainbow pool, so it's just nice mountains and trees in the area, and that's where the property is at. So you could just go have fun with this one. So let me know if this is the right property for you. It's up on the website. It's for sale. Go take a look and run with it if this is the right one. There's a checkout button, or give me a call. Let me know you want to do it. We can send it through a title shop or however you want to go. It's Luke Smith of ruralvacantland.com, bringing you more easy, cheap land. This is in Mariposa County, California, really close to Yosemite National Park. Hopefully this is going to be your property. Thanks for listening. Talk to you later. Bye.